It's 10 p.m. in Banjul, and this is the news. First, the headlines. More gifts and cash donations for newly born babies as Foreign Affairs Minister Nene Magdol-Gay presides over the latest presentation of gifts to babies born at the Suleiman Junkun Jammeh Hospital in Buyam. Guinea-Bissau's Youth and Sports Minister Antonio Keba Banja hails President Jammeh's Pan-Africanist credentials, highlighting the Gambian leader's role in bringing peace to the sub-region. Indian security forces battle suspected militants who launched an audacious overnight attack on an airbase near the border with Pakistan. And Israeli police scour Tel Aviv area in search of suspects who went on a shooting rampage, killing 2 people and wounding 7 others. These and other stories coming ahead this half hour. I am your presenter, FATOUMATA JOBE. Of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Nene Magdol-Gay, on Saturday presented gifts and cash amount of over $20,000 on behalf of the First Lady, Madam Zainab Jammeh, to each of the 2 babies of 2016 born at the Suleiman Junkun Jammeh Hospital in Buyam. Ominjai has been covering the presentation of gifts in the different hospitals, and this is her report.
Presentation of gifts to the first babies of 2016 continued at the Suleiman Junkun Jammeh Hospital in Buyam, where dozens of people and mothers of the newborn babies assembled to receive gifts and cash amount for the lucky beneficiaries. As tradition, each year, the mothers of the firstborn of the year receives lump sum and gifts, courtesy of First Lady Madam Zainab Jammeh, an initiative that she championed, which seeks to not only give the newborns a good start of life, but also benefit mothers. Hence, they have a special package.
So I want to seize this opportunity to thank very much, profusely, and to the Honorable Minister of External Affairs, to the First Lady, for being very proactive and being there as a mother of the nation.
The First International Bank has been a close partner to Madam Zainab Jammeh's Operation Save the Children Foundation, and in a way of supporting the First Lady's initiative, they have provided the 2 newborn babies with savings account of $20,000 and a cash amount of $10,000 to each mother.
We've been following the Operation Save the Children Foundation over the years with very keen interest. We have always been part of this occasion. This year's occasion is very special. It's very special to FI Bank in the sense that it avails us the opportunity for the first time to participate directly in terms of sponsoring not only the newly born babies, but also the mothers of the newly born babies.
The telecommunication giants Gamtel has also been active partners in supporting the valuable cause.
Gamtel has always been an ardent supporter of this initiative. It is therefore not a coincidence that we were in this year partnering with Operation Save the Children Foundation to provide support to these newcomers.
The Foreign Affairs Minister, who presented the gifts to the mothers on behalf of the First Lady, thanked First Lady Jammeh for her continued support to children, while recounting the many efforts taken by President Jammeh towards developing the children of the nation.
This worthwhile initiative of Her Excellency, the First Lady. As you know, she's very particular about children, and she's very particular about their health as well, and their education, and has been doing a lot to support the causes of children in this country. And this, of course, is in support of His Excellency, the President, Dr. Alhaji Yahya Jammeh, who we all know is not a stranger to the Gambian people, for his resolve to develop this country for the betterment of the people of the Gambia. And hence all that he has done towards developing health, towards developing education, towards developing other infrastructure that is important for our progress.
Other speakers included the Alcalde of Buyam, Musa Amul Nyasi, and the Imam of the hospital, who both commended the move of the First Lady and also prayed for the well-being of the First family. The Operation Save the Children Healthy Living starter packs and cash amounts of money will in no small measure build a good foundation for the first babies of 2016 and will financially aid their parents. Ominjai, GRTS.
2015 has been an eventful year for the Office of the First Lady under the stewardship of Her Excellency Madam Zainab Yahya Jammeh. GRTS's Umijai has been taking a closer look at the activities of the First Lady over the past 12 months, and this is her report.
Was not just any other year as far as First Lady Madam Zainab Yahya Jammeh is concerned, for it saw her actively take part in efforts geared towards advancing various national development targets contained in the Gambia's development blueprints. During the period stretching from January to December, Madam Jammeh racked up success after success, recording incredible gains in vital aspects of development, with special focus on those that have the potential to expand opportunities for girls and women, thereby improving their lot and increasing their standing in society, with the ultimate aim of guaranteeing their proactive participation in national development endeavors. In the month of February, the First Lady, Madam Zainab Jammeh, took her rightful position alongside her husband during celebrations marking the Gambia's Golden Jubilee. Out of sight does not necessarily mean out of mind, for during the same month when the nation was gripped by Independence Anniversary fever, Madam Jammeh took it upon herself to visit Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital and acquaint herself with the state of affairs. In what could be described as a delicate balancing act, which involves supporting President Jammeh's back to the land call and showing solidarity with Gambian women, Madam Zainab Yahya Jammeh visited Banjulunding Women's Horticulture Garden on March 8, the day set aside to highlight the plight of women and further their cause. Also, in the month of March, Madam Jammeh again showed her parental instinct and the special interest she has in the welfare of disadvantaged members of society by visiting St. John's School for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing.
This year's International Day of Persons with Disabilities reminds us that development can only be sustainable when it is equitable and inclusive. On this International Day, I call on all of us to break barriers and open doors of opportunities of all persons with disabilities.
In another remarkable demonstration of support to causes that are dear to President Jammeh, Madam Zainab Jammeh spearheaded a big cleaning exercise in commemoration of Earth Day, which is marked on April 8 each year. In the second half of the year, in July to be precise, it was celebration time, and as usual, Madam Jammeh was at her husband's side, actively supporting him during the 21st anniversary of the glorious 22nd July Revolution. Also in July, officials of Operation Save the Children Foundation, a brainchild of the First Lady, conceived with the sole aim of ensuring overall protection of children to assure their holistic development, met with stakeholders in the business of child protection to jointly conceive interventions.
This one-day seminar was also conceived by Her Excellency the First Lady and Chairperson of the Foundation, with a view to outlining where the Foundation wants to be over the next few years and define how we are going to get there. In defining the how, we adopted an inclusive approach by inviting all key stakeholders and partners to have a voice in defining the how. The word how, for each of our objectives, is vital to our success.
The numerous interventions to alleviate the suffering of the vulnerable seem to have won over many potential partners and supporters, as manifested in the donations received from the likes of Aller Company, First International Bank, Ahlul Bayt Foundation, and Child Fund Office. Apart from the numerous activities, several other interventions that have a bearing on individuals, youth groups, women and children can be traced to the same source, First Lady Madam Zainab Yahya Jammeh. Birthdays are usually an intimate affair marked with family and loved ones, but in the case of Madame Jammeh, it was the opposite. For she spent valuable and quality time interacting with school children in what could be described as a manifestation of motherly love.
Happy birthday to you.
Again, in the month of December, Madame Zainab Jammeh, in her capacity as president of the Jammeh Foundation for Peace, threw her weight behind the charity's efforts to raise funds with a donation of $200,000. 2015 was an eventful year and one that saw Madame Zainab Yahya Jammeh touch many lives through the assistance she provided and above all, the special attention she paid to the less fortunate and disadvantaged members of society, thereby renewing the hopes of those who were fortunate to benefit from what is certainly an honor.
It was an equally eventful 12 months for Gambian football as the national team, the Scorpions, lodged from one disappointment to the other after a promising start to life in the qualifiers. Fans were left bitterly disappointed of a string of poor results accumulated in the space of a few months. Despite this, though, there were some positives, especially in the hugely impressive zonal championship called Super Nawetan. Our farmer Fofana watched a good number of the games during the 2015 edition, and he has a special report on the appeal of the local football competition among Gambians.
Passion, pride, and belongingness. Welcome to the Super Nawetan, the Gambia's most followed football championship. Known in some quarters as the zonals in reference to the various footballing zones that participate in this highly intriguing competition. Match days during the Super Nawetan can be mouth-watering and even tense in some instances. Super Nawetan encounters come in the mould of derby games, where passion and pride tend to be the buzzwords, especially when opposing teams representing two rival communities face off on the pitch, literally trying to settle scores and prove 1 or 2 points here and there. November 2015, its tournament favorite Sukuta and the less fancied Serekunda was ready for battle. The atmosphere, just like any other zonal game, was electrifying. Played out in a spectacular fashion before their army of fans, a gaggle of sports journalists and the power brokers in Gambian football.
One thing I want to commend is the Gambia Football Federation to think about this thing and transform this Super Nawetan into a national league so that it can have a total, ownership, community ownership.
So for a competition that brings with it so much fanfare, community following, allied to its thrills and spills, is Super Nawetan the answer to the Gambia's footballing woes?
This can be classified, or this can be referred to as the biggest game when it comes to the country's local football. You look at the turnout, you look at the competitiveness, you look at the ambience, you look at even the press, the number of press who came to cover the game. You realize that definitely this is certainly the biggest game when it comes to Gambian football.
Exciting as usual. It's always the most exciting and enjoyable football tournament in this country, despite the fact that we have the first division league, we have the second division league, but always the Super Nawetan, locally known as zonals, is always an exceptional.
I think we need to manage football better and then help them support what they like. In Gambia here, if you look at the turnout today, it's definitely heart-touching, and I hope that we emulate this and look at the pro and cons on organizing zonals on a regular basis. We can empower the zones so that they can have their teams registered in a separate league.
Aside from its ability to leave fans on the edge of their seats, the zonals can also provide a fertile ground for up-and-coming stars to dazzle and probably land themselves bigger clubs within and without the Gambia.
It's an opportunity for those talents who didn't have the opportunity of appearing in the league matches because, as you know, there's limited space there. But they are spotted here. The first division and second division teams are also identifying players from this FATOUMATA, we call it, or the zonal as you wish, and they rise.
The popularity of the zonal championship and the sense of community ownership it generates sometimes beg the question, why can't it be the Gambia's top-flight football championship?
The authorities in Gambian football, the stakeholders need to sit and try to come out with a solution and make sure that, the country's football league is transformed into this kind of competition.
It's been a debate for a very long time that it should now be Gambia's first division league, so that communities will take ownership of the league, so that the turnout will be great when it comes. But like I said earlier on, it all depends to the technicians. They know how best this can help develop Gambian football.
Whether the FATOUMATA holds the key to the Gambia's footballing hopes and whether it is technically feasible to have it as our professional league in line with internationally accepted standards, no other football tournament compares to the so-called zonals.
The Department of Water Resources, with support and collaboration from the World Meteorological Organization, has held a day-long sensitization forum for fisher folks. The program was meant to raise the awareness of participants on weather and climate and the importance of weather and climate information. The theme of the occasion was Know Your Weather, use the weather forecast to rationalize production and save lives and properties at sea. Jankatura reports on that.
Are some of the biggest risk factors impacting on farming, livestock, forest, as well as fisheries performances and management. This in turn has a consequence on national and regional food security. Recent weather and climate research efforts have demonstrated the importance of targeted forecasting and scenario analysis in increasing overall preparedness for the fish supplied by ozonic, river and lake catching. As such, it is crucial to engage farmers and fisher folks on weather and climate. The objective of this seminar is to raise awareness of the fisher folks on weather and climate and how these affect their daily activities, and also the important role of weather information, particularly forecast in relation to the sector's activities.
Department of Water Resources and the World Meteorological Organization, WMO, have been organizing some series of sensitization on weather and climate among our farmers and fisher folk across the country. This time around, in fact, the focus has been on farmers. This time around, they want to also dedicate this program to fisher folk because weather and climate information are very important to this sector.
The overall goal of the seminar, according to Mr. Jawara, is to secure lives of food producers and help ensure their self-reliance by providing them with information relevant to weather and climate risk management, whilst it will allow for the sustainable use of natural resources for artisanal fisheries and aquaculture. Lamin M. Toure, Director, Department of Water Resources, described the seminar as important. He said involving the fisher folks will be very crucial in the execution of their duties.
Weather has no boundary. So our every activity, daily activity depends on weather. So knowing and be able to interpret the weather information, that will actually help you in carrying out your daily operation. It will reduce the risks associated with extreme weather events. It will reduce the risks associated with extreme weather events, and also it will increase your productivity.
The seminar intends to raise awareness of the fishing community on current advances made in the provision of weather and climate information, thereby facilitating operational decisions on fishing. The conclave also aims to promote the development of more efficient warning and alert systems and their broadcasting. For GRTS News, I am Janke Ture.
American-born Nigerian singer Davido Adedeji Adeleke is in the country ahead of the hugely popularized musical show at the Independence Stadium. Tonight's big event is one of a string of activities rolled out during the festive period. Shortly after arriving in the Gambia, the young singer, who is known by his stage name as Davido, spoke about tonight's event.
I'm so happy to be here, spending the new year here. So I want to see Gambia, man. I've always heard about Gambia. I have a lot of Gambian friends too, so yeah. I've been doing shows all December, but I think this one is going to be different. It's going to be special. Okay. It's going to be long. I'm going to play all the hits from the beginning to the end, you know, yeah. I believe we're having a meet and greet, I believe. But yeah, man, I just can't wait for the show, man. I'm so happy to be.
With that piece on singer Davido, we take a break. International news is next. Stay tuned. Welcome back. In northwestern India, 3 people are dead after a militant attack on an Indian air base near the Pakistani border. The civilian and 2 security personnel were killed. This comes about a week after India and Pakistan began a new diplomatic push to improve relations. Here is a report on that.
Presented a very, very nice, juicy, lucrative target for the Pakistani terrorists. The terrorists, of course, as assessed by Indian officials, coming in with the aim of staging such a high-profile attack that the peace process that had been launched, as you said, by Mr. Modi a week ago, would have to be called off in the face of angry protests from the Indian public and the opposition and so on. Now, this is a pattern. Every time the Indo-Pakistan peace process sort of seems to be getting going, terrorist groups tend to stage an attack, and that derails the whole process. So this base that you talked about, Pathankot, is located just a few kilometers from the international border. Difficult country over there. Easy for infiltrators to come in, cross the border. There are rivers that cross the border over there, and you know, it's difficult to guard every inch. And the Indian intelligence agencies last night, fortunately, had picked up intercepts indicating that an attack was coming. So they were in a position to be prepared. Even so, the terrorists managed to get in. They were not able to go to the technical area where the planes were parked, and so the attack was limited. 3 people dead from the guards' side. All 5 terrorists, we believe, are killed. But it's very lucky. It's a combination of good intelligence and just pure dumb luck that the terrorists were not able to get inside, go to the runway, blow up a few fighter aircrafts as terrorists had done in Pakistan itself a year ago. So the attack was limited. It has had a limited fallout. It has not succeeded in creating the impact that would cause an uproar from the Indian public and cause the peace process to be derailed.
A massive manhunt is underway in Tel Aviv after a man fires 15 rounds from an automatic weapon, killing 2 people and injuring 7 others. The family said the suspect is a 29-year-old Arab-Israeli man. CNN's Ian Lee reports on that.
Haven't told us if they're any closer to catching the gunmen. They have told us, though, that they are beefing up the operation. They're working closely with Israel Shin Bet, that is equivalent to their FBI. But this is still very much an ongoing manhunt. They do consider him to be very dangerous. Despite that, they are telling people in Tel Aviv to go about their daily lives. Now, a relative of the man believed to be the gunman has told CNN that he recognized him in the videos that have been released, that he was 29 years old. He's from the northern part of Israel, but there's not much else that we can say there. There's also this gag order that's in place that limits the information that is released to the media, also that we can release as well to the public. That reasoning behind that is they don't want to give the suspect any hints, any tips that might help him evade police any longer.
We take our second break now. Sports is next. Guinea-Bissau ended the Safra on a high with some eye-catching performances, which included an impressive cultural performance. The Bissau-Guinean delegation was headed by the Minister of Youth and Sports, Antonio Keba Banja. In an interview with GRTS's MS Bar, Mr. Banja hails the Gambian leader for his efforts in ensuring peace reign in the sub-region. Here's an excerpt.
And we have witnessed a colorful presentation of traditional clothes to all the participating governors. First, tell us the rationale behind this.
So, the first one, my thanks is to His Excellency, President of Gambia, Alhaji Jammeh. In the name of our government in Guinea-Bissau, we are finding very welcome in Gambia, like Africans. That's so that our President Jammeh, what he's doing to unificating the African people. So I don't have much to say about it because we are testimonies what our president did in the past. He continue doing. I'm sure that in future he will do for Guinea-Bissau people to give a sustainable pace and we can live in harmony together.
Can you just tell us the significance of this sub-regional convergence?
So this is we call that American Cabral souvenirs. So it's for the people who are fighting for the unification of Africa. In our minds, we think that the president of Yahya Jammeh is one of fighters to unite Africa. That's why I think that he deserves more than this. In the name for Guinea-Bissau, we give him this present.
You have been here since day one. This shows a great commitment on the part of the Bissau government. What is so unique about Bissau sending in a high-powered delegation led by you to be on the ground to attend this sub-regional convergence?
So I think that it's wonderful to be in Gambia in the first place. So to have our brother governor of Basse, Mr. Cisse, he did all what they have to be done to make us be comfortable in Gambia. So that's this kind of visits that the president have in Basse. So all of those things that's happening in Gambia, the same thing we want to take back home to let the people so there, because the Gambia and Guinea-Bissau, they are same people. I think that we're in Africa. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling great. Thank you.
The governors are calling for Safra to be institutionalized, for it to be taken to another level, and this means the involvement of the right policy makers. How do you think this should be channeled?
No, I think that in the future we have to work together. To make the things happening, because what I said in a conference, Safra has already the idea, the foundation of Safra. This is exactly what the African leaders want to see happen in Africa, to be integrated with each other, circulation of people's goods. I think that we must do all our efforts to make that show that things will be happen in coming future.
Finally, what would be your message to the governors and to the participating regions concerning the Safra?
I think that in almost the governments and the sub-region, they are in Basse. We talk a lot about things. I think that in the coming weeks and coming months, years after Basse, things will be changed. Because I'm sure the governments who are present in Basse, they know what they will, what need to do to make things happen. I think that we are in the right place, and right time to do things happening. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
And before we take leave of you, a recap of the day's main stories. More gifts and cash donations for newly born babies as Foreign Minister Nene Magdolgay presided over the latest presentation of gifts to babies at the Suleiman Junkung Jammeh Hospital in Buyam. Guinea-Bissau's Youth and Sports Minister Antonio Keba Banja has hailed President Jammeh's Pan-Africanist credentials, highlighting the Gambian leader's role in bringing peace to the sub-region. Indian security forces have been battling suspected militants who launched an audacious overnight attack on an air base near the border with Pakistan. And Israeli police are scouring Tel Aviv area in search of a suspect who went on a shooting rampage, killing 2 people and wounding 7 others. That's all for now. Thank you for joining us. I am your presenter, FATOUMATA, wishing you all a Happy New Year.